Welcome to another edition of Talk City Greensboro, produced by GTN, featuring interviews and events happening around town. It's an easy way to stay in the know while you're on the go. Subscribe to Talk City on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or SoundCloud so you can keep up with what's going on in Greensboro city government and beyond. I'm your host, Josh Johnson, and as always, I'm very happy to introduce my co-host, co-producer, podcast engineer, and very good friend, Mr. Devin Smith. Sir, it's good to be at the table with you again.
It is. I've been kind of in and out for the last couple of weeks, but
That's all right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And I do want to assure everyone that you were not just yawning as you were reading.
No, I was breathing.
I took it as a yawn.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get that last sentence in one deep breath. When you added the beyond, you took me beyond my ability.
I didn't add that. You added that.
Did I?
Yeah. It's a lung capacity issue.
It sounds like it's an age issue because not only am I having trouble breathing, but I'm having trouble remembering that I revised the script. So,
well, what's up, Greensboro? How you doing? Thank you so much for coming to listen. We definitely appreciate each time you come and listen to the conversations that we have each week. Mm-hmm. We just recently had a podcast with our outgoing city manager.
That's correct.
Reminiscing about some of the great things that he's done here.
Yep.
And some other podcasts that you had with Michelle Gill-Moffitt. Mm-hmm. But today we have a special guest on the podcast. We say that every week, but
it's our extra special guest.
It is Chris Wilson, who is going to be our acting interim city manager until they find someone to fill that spot. So how you doing, Chris?
I'm great. How are you guys?
I'm
doing good.
Thanks for coming to the show.
Absolutely.
I'm happy to be here.
Thanks for sponsoring the show.
I dress like a boat captain just to be here.
Absolutely, yeah. And by the way, we found out that Chris sponsors the show.
That's what he said.
I wanted to be listed as a sponsor.
We'll thank you at the end for your sponsorship.
Absolutely. In a really fast voice. So
this is mine now.
So, and he's still in our mugs off the table. So, Chris, your leadership as assistant city manager, you've been a part of the CMO team. You've been a foundation for moving the city forward in that role. Give us some highlights of your career here at the city, even dating back to when you just started with Parks and Rec up until now, moving into this interim city manager role.
Well, that's very kind of you, Devin. I appreciate that intro. June 1, I will be celebrating 29 years of affiliation with the city of Greensboro. So I started as a kid, essentially.
Congratulations.
Yeah. On growing from being a kid or being with the city.
Both, man.
I mean, yeah, both are quite a feat, especially in my case. I've given this some thought. So when this came about and I was asked to help out, which I'm so happy to do. I love the city and I love the organization. It was tough to think about my career because I don't really talk about that. Mm-hmm. I don't talk about what you would call a career. I talk about the things that we do as a group. I talk about the things that we've accomplished in supporting the city, because that's the deal, right? We're public servants. You don't go out saying, hey, look what I did. That's just not the way that works. So it took me a minute, and several people helped me. I'm so daft, I had to look at things in my office like memorabilia, and I was like, oh, yeah, I was part of this. And luckily, there's some good folks around me who helped me remember. Honestly, it's been an interesting ride. My first couple of weeks in the manager's office, I got assigned to things that I had maybe worked on a little bit before, but not gotten to complete.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was almost like this predestined thing that all of a sudden I'm getting to go back to projects where help was needed or something else was needed, and I get this awesome opportunity to help out. So, I think my first ask was the Renaissance Shopping Center there off of Phillips Avenue.
Yep.
No grocery store for 18 years. Shopping center was dilapidated. Had the privilege of working with self-help, the community, so many great people in basically negotiating a deal to what you see today, which is a renovated shopping center. And Second Harvest just moved into what was formerly the co-op space, and we actually have some other things coming up that are going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But that was like a first symbolic thing in the manager's office, and then it kind of took off from there. I have a background in community services, so that's been my passion. But I've actually worked with almost every department in the city at this point. Yeah. And at each turn, I get to work with all these great creative folks like you guys. I mean, think about it.
Thank you.
When I first started, we didn't have platforms like this and our communications.
That's true.
Look what we've done in terms of we have a reach of like 2 million now. It's insane. So
that's cool.
Honestly, I have been able to do things like the innovation of what will be the next big attraction for Greensboro, which is Battleground Parks District. I've told you guys that story before, but literally a conversation on a hill hatched what is getting ready to start this summer.
Very true. I remember having that conversation standing on that hill.
and as we sit here today, we're going to break ground on that this summer, which is incredible.
That is cool.
You guys have heard about Invest East. That was an initiative with the Chamber and East Greensboro Now, but the notion was let's put a brand or a stamp on the notion that we've got to make East Greensboro a priority. Let's support good development. Let's support communities. Let's do that. But to put a brand on it means that we're dedicating ourselves to it, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that was one that I worked on. Gosh, there's just been so many over the years. It's kind of incredible that I've had a part in that. And then, not all of them were glamorous or innovations either. I've been part of things that tackled some pretty severe issues. Community will remember Heritage House. Heritage House was the worst situation that people could possibly be in, and they were trapped there. It was a dilapidated facility that was formerly a hotel. People were living there, but they were vulnerable. The situation had gotten so dire that there was no electricity in areas, there's no HVAC, there was trash everywhere. And we're talking about people who were, struggling anyway.
Yeah.
And, I was asked to help out because it was dire, and it was one of these situations where we just could not get compliance and people were struggling. And so I helped develop a plan where we went in as the city and we got people out. I worked with council members. I worked with police. I worked with inspections. I worked with the county. We spent a day, actually 2 days out there. And I remember getting people out, children who had bites from bed bugs and just terrible, terrible things. And I tell that because that's not something that you would want to do, but it's something you should do.
Yeah.
And being able to be part of that, I'm proud of, because we got people in a better situation. We got them in better homes and better opportunities, and we got them away from a situation that couldn't end well for anybody.
Right. Yeah.
So there's just been so many over the years. I've had some really great opportunities to work with the feds and the state and the county. It's just amazing what you forget, because in the moment you're working. And for me, it's not even so much working as it is my obsession. I love this community, and I want to help people. So, I could give you stories. I'm a better storyteller, as you both know. I'm a better storyteller than I am a resume builder. But, my career has been so interesting because I've been involved in so many different things, and I'm so thankful for it, and I'm thankful to be able to work with folks like you all.
Yeah.
Well, for those of us who do get a chance to interact with you on a regular basis, we get to see your enthusiasm all the time and your love for this city. It's always there, and
Thanks.
It can be infectious.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
It's great.
For that.
It's very
Thank
cool.
you.
What drives that? I mean, what is it that you love about Greensboro?
So Greensboro loved me first. I think we've talked about, I was born in Greensboro, but I grew up in Asheboro, and my family's very different. We're very diverse in a whole host of ways, and we were not necessarily the family to just sort of go along with the flow. We were constantly looking for more opportunities, better opportunities, but acceptance, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And I remember moving to Greensboro as, I think, a sophomore in high school, and I just absolutely fell in love. From day one, I never felt like I was an outsider.
Yeah.
I was completely comfortable here. My family was comfortable here. Honestly, there was so much that we had access to because you had free programming, you had all these opportunities, and we really didn't have much. I mean, quite frankly, we were struggling. So Greensboro loved me first, and then I fell in love with Greensboro, and I'm proud to say we're celebrating many years of anniversary. But it's been a great relationship, right? Because Greensboro has so many great things, and those great things are a whole host of cultures. The diversity of this community is awesome.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's incredible how many different cultures are represented here. There's an inclusiveness to Greensboro that just makes you feel so good. But it's also like quality of life, right? I can do anything in Greensboro I could do just about anywhere I've traveled to, right? And I can access it easier. So I think part of that is it. And then the other part is, truthfully, folks like you all, like, I know why you signed up for this, and it's not always glamorous or glorious, but like, you care, you absolutely care. You to be a public servant, you have to care, and for me, that's a driver, because to be with other people that care, it's like this great system of constantly feeding into how do we help other people, how do we make Greensboro great, how do we continue to move forward, and I've been given the opportunity for 20 plus years to be part of a group of like-minded people where we're constantly working for a better Greensboro. So, for me, that's really the drive. It's also kind of cool now at this point in my life that I might be in the grocery store or somewhere else, and somebody comes up to me that I don't recognize, and they say, "Hey, I remember when I was, 10 years old, you helped reset my bone that I broke," or, something along those lines.
Cool.
Or you helped my dad with, getting a job, and that's such a cool feeling.
I bet. I bet.
Devin and I actually have a connection. We have a mutual acquaintance, old friend of mine.
Yep.
By the way, shout out to Naaman and his birthday. We won't say which one.
Yeah.
But his birthday. And, I think about folks like Naaman, who I worked with years ago, and to this day, like, we see each other and we get excited because that work that we did together, that camaraderie is special.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you don't lose that.
Yeah.
So that's for me, that's it. And every day brings something even more special.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the very first people that I met here at the city was Chris. I think he was the city manager that picked the short straw to come to our orientation.
The employee orientation. Yeah, right.
But he was just so enthusiastic about what the city was about. It really made me feel excited about being invited, and that was over 5 years ago. And so we've had a fun ride since then.
Oh yeah. No, it's been great.
Yeah. So Chris, really quickly, what are some things that you want to accomplish? What are some things that are on the horizon while you'll be in the hot chair?
So I'm really glad you asked that. There's a couple of things that come to mind. So when I talk about like-minded people, I think I've shared this before, but each week I try to review sort of the things that ground me. And the things that ground me are, and this is literally my list, each week: help someone feel included, help someone maintain or procure a home, help someone find employment, help someone in a local business, help someone learn, have fun, help someone eat or gain access, help somebody make a healthy choice, help a neighborhood, help the earth, help by showing kindness, help someone laugh, help by listening to others more than I talk. I want to talk about things like that with the rest of this team because I think those are things that bind us.
Yeah.
And that helps us shape our approach too, right? So when we talk about investing in people, if you invest in people, you are building community. That's community development, right?
Yep.
Community development's economic development. I think I just hit on, in those three investments, I've just hit on everything everybody wants, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
And they're all tied together. So our approach becomes not, oh, I'm sorry we can't do this, or no, we can't do it that way. Our approach becomes, okay, how can I help you?
Yeah.
Or our approach becomes, let's figure out how to make that happen. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to keep taking advantage of all the great opportunities that Greensboro has. I think about just the past 2 weeks. We're kicking off the last leg of the Downtown Greenway. We're opening an expanded zoo, right, at the Science Center. We're breaking ground on the Battleground Parks District. I can go down a long list of things. It's just in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
If you look back, even during the pandemic, as hard as it's been, we have found a way to continue to move forward. So my goal is to knock down the barriers and let's keep being great. Greensboro wants it, Greensboro needs it, and we can make it happen. So we're open for business. We're ready to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Work with us. We'll work with you. Great people, great residents, great partners, great innovation, great ideas makes great Greensboro.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for coming
Absolutely.
along and giving us all this great information, a little reminiscing, but also we know that Greensboro is moving forward
It
and
is.
we won't miss a beat.
No, we won't. We won't. And I thank you so much for this opportunity because I want people to know how much we want Greensboro to excel.
Yeah.
And I think you hear
Yeah.
it from my mouth, hear
yeah.
it from you guys, and hear it from everybody on the Greensboro team. That's where we're at.
Absolutely.
All right. We're going to get to it. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, guys.
Stay tuned in weekly by subscribing to Talk City Greensboro on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. And don't forget, you can download Talk City from SoundCloud.
That's it for this week. Thank you for tuning in to Talk City. Be sure to watch GTN, your official source for news and information about the city of Greensboro. GTN is available on Spectrum Channel 13
AT&T UVerse Channel 99.
and North State Channel 31.
GTN also streams live on Roku and the city's website
At greensboro-nc.gov.
Sponsored by Chris Wilson.
Exactly. Have a good one.